So today is Saturday, October 10th, and I'm going to start off with some really exciting news. I actually put together a deal with the factory in South Africa to make essentially a video build manual series. So as I'm building through this project here, I'll be filming every step of the way and discussing, the ins and outs of the entire process of building the TSi. So for those of you who are going to be starting a build in the next, couple months here, you'll be able to follow along with very specific videos on how to build this plane properly and a lot of the tips and tricks along the way. That being said, if anybody's interested in a build assist for this plane, it's available, and now that I have factory support, it'll be a very well streamlined process, and we can get you into a flying TSi very quickly. It's really exciting. I've already got the kits here ready to go. My plane will be out of here next week, and the process will be ready to start. So my email's down in the description if anybody's interested. Now for what I got done this week on the actual plane build, I started trimming out the white vinyl with this copper pinstriping, and I think it's coming along looking really nice. I think that adds just the right level of pop to kind of complete the look of the plane. Everything's done being painted. The doors are painted and ready to go. I actually have the handles as well as the baggage compartment handle lock at a locksmith right now, getting rekeyed so everything has the same key. I got the cowling all installed and ready to go. It's looking really good. One thing that I'm still debating on as far as the cowling goes is all of my white stripes use this kind of blue tape to maintain the same spacing along the gray edge, but it's going to put the white stripe in a really weird spot kind of up on top, and originally I was planning it to be straight off of that vent on the cowling back, and so I've got to kind of make a decision there if I want to keep my spacing or if I want to keep my original design. Maybe I'll lay it out both ways and see what looks better. So yeah, the plane is coming along. I had the entire empennage was installed a couple different times actually, making sure it was all fitting together well, and to get the wire links, I've got all my wiring done. I also fitted my the trim piece that kind of comes up along this ridge up to your vertical stabilizer and out to the horizontal. So one thing I'd recommend when you do that is to place it and drill it and do all of that before you've painted the plane. It's not a huge deal if you do it how I did it here. Basically, I laid plastic down over the plane everywhere that fiberglass part might touch, and then I pulled the plastic out, and then I was able to match drill it, and then I slid the plastic back in to slide it back off, because of course you don't want to be sliding that fiberglass along your brand new paint. So I would probably recommend doing that before you paint the plane, but if you don't, it'll work out. Just use that plastic. So something else I might have mentioned in a previous video, I don't really remember now, is I actually cracked my left wing lens cover here for the landing lights. So that was stupid of me. There was no reason to crack it. I was just playing with it and cracked it. So what I've kind of done here is I've taken my landing light lens that does fit perfectly the curve of the wing, and everything's good with that, and I've kind of made this little jig. So I'm not entirely sure yet if it's going to work, but basically the plan is to put it all in an oven and just let this new piece of plexiglass just slowly conform over the mold here. So I think it'll work. I'm not sure yet, but if it does, that'll be pretty fun part of the process there. And then basically after the big piece of plastic is conformed to the jig here, I'll just line the two of them up, mark it, and then cut it off and match drill all the holes. So as far as that small plexiglass part goes, or acrylic, I guess it's possible that not all is lost if you are dumb like me and cracked it. Another thing to note is I had the overspray issue kind of in this area here, and it was a clay bar with you know, the solution for using the clay bar underneath, and you just slowly rub it off, and it came off perfectly. So once again, if you're painting the plane yourself and you do get a little overspray like that, that's the solution for it. So as far as next week goes, I pretty much am on the home stretch here. I've got an airbrush to do a little bit of touch-up work in a couple spots. For example, along this edge here, got a little bit of overspray, and I tried to kind of sand it to see if I could just sand through the overspray. The clay bar wasn't doing it, but so it got a little ugly. So I'm just gonna airbrush that back in, and there's a couple other spots on the plane that need the same. And I will be putting in all the interior and everything next week. I believe there's no reason why this plane doesn't make its trip to the hangar next week. I've been kind of hit with just so many little fine detail things at the end here. I kind of thought I'd be in the hangar already, but I guess that's how the project goes. So, all right, have a good weekend, everybody, and get back to it next week.